The Space Wolves are known as the Sons of Russ, one of the first founding chapters. Their Primarch is Leman Russ. They are currently led by their Great Wolf Logan Grimnar. Space Wolves don't follow the standard Codex Force as they follow oaths, the pack and the fighting spirit and culture of Fenris. They are warriors of Fenris, and it reflects in their armor, heraldry, and battle markings. The Space Wolves' power armor is a cool grey, painted in Fenrisian grey. This is a semblance of the frozen seas and rusty skies of the homeworld Fenris. Their armor's accents are either gold, painted in Retributor armor, or silver, painted in Runefang steel. Their aquillas are typically bone colors painted in Ushabti bone. Their armor is adorned with many fur pelts, runes, and other totems in the Fenris culture, painted in various colors. Their helmet lenses are Mephiston red, giving them a predatory, wolf-like glare that adds to their fearsome silhouette in combat. Their chapter pauldrons are a bright golden yellow, painted in Uriel yellow, with a Fenrisian grey trim. The Space Wolves chapter insignia is the profile of a black wolf's head facing forward. This symbolizes vigilance, ferocity, and brotherhood within the chapter and culture of their homeworld. To the Sons of Russ, the wolf represents the pack and loyalty within the chapter, the hunt, and the savage honor from Leman Russ. They were known to have carried the savage culture and warrior traditions that would later define the Sons of Russ, even prior to the finding of their Primarch. The Space Wolves' armor from pre-heresy to just after the Horus heresy was a darker, more muted grey than what is used by their 41st millennium counterparts, painted in Eshin grey. This tone represented the ferocity of Fenris and their role as the Emperor's executioners. Their armor had faded golden accents, painted in Liberator gold. The gold looked weathered, lacking a brighter finish. The Space Wolves' color scheme remained recognizably similar to their 41st millennium counterparts, showing a strong visual identity across millennia. The design of the Space Wolves' insignia remained unchanged. It is still a profile of a wolf's head facing forward. However, during this time the wolf was red instead of black, painted in corn red. The darker, muted grey and aged metallics gave the Space Wolves a grim appearance, fitting for their job as judge and executioner. Even in the early days, the Space Wolves were very identifiable. This identity survived the treason of the Horus heresy. The Space Wolves do not follow the Codex Astartes, and instead organize their forces into 12 great companies, each led by a Wolf Lord. Unlike standard Space Marine chapters, each great company operates as a fully independent army, capable of deploying and sustaining itself without reliance on other companies. These companies vary in size and specialization, reflecting the Space Wolves' flexible, hunt-oriented approach to warfare. Each great company bears its own unique insignia, which replaces the standard chapter insignia. All the Marines of a company will wear their great company's insignia. Some infantry Astartes of a great company will wear their company insignia, but match the colors of their pack markings. This subtly signaling their affiliation while maintaining a unified chapter appearance. In battle, this independence allows each great company to operate as a self-contained warband, striking with speed, ferocity, and precision. This unique organizational structure, combined with their distinctive heraldry, sets the Sons of Russ apart as one of the most unconventional and fearsome chapters in the Imperium. The first great company of the Space Wolves is known as the Company of the Great Wolf. Before Logan Grimnar rose to become Great Wolf of the chapter, this company was known as the Night Runners, and in older Imperial records it was also referred to as the Champions of Fenris. Led by Logan Grimnar himself, the company is composed entirely of veteran Wolfguard warriors, chosen for their experience, loyalty, and unmatched skill. Serving as the chapter's ultimate spearhead, the Company of the Great Wolf undertakes the most dangerous and decisive missions, acting as both the personal retinue of the Great Wolf and the living embodiment of Fenrisian martial tradition. The company of the Great Wolf traces its heraldry to its former identity as the Night Runners, bearing an emblem of a black wolf howling at a full white moon on a grey background. This insignia symbolizes vigilance, predation, and their bond with the wolves of Fenris, and is worn prominently on the chapter pauldron. The company of the Great Wolf bears Logan Grimnar's unique personal sigil, a white wolf rearing before a yellow star on a black field, a mark exclusive to the Great Wolf and a symbol of his absolute authority. Operating in independent squads, the company of the Great Wolf excels in both ranged and close-quarters combat, striking with precision, ferocity, and centuries of hard-earned experience. As the veterans and first blade of the chapter, they stand as the ultimate expression of Fenrisian strength, loyalty, and the indomitable spirit of the Sons of Rust. The second great company of the Space Wolves is known as the Bloodmaws. The company is led by Wolf Lord Bran Redmaw, a questionable commander as he's afflicted with the curse of the Wolfen, making him a ferocious commander. The Great Company is composed primarily of Grey Hunters, forming a flexible and aggressive core capable of both tactical maneuvers and savage close combat. Within the chapter, the Bloodmaws are infamous for their brutal assault style, and they have a reputation for exhibiting signs of the curse of the Wolfen more often than most other companies. Each Astartes within the company bears the Bloodmaws company insignia on their chapter pauldron. The insignia depicts a black wolf's head smeared with blood across its snout on a white field, symbolizing the company's brutal hunting nature and fearsome reputation. Many Bloodmaws further distinguish themselves with personal war gear, often displaying black helmets with red face guards. In combat, the Bloodmaws favor overwhelming aggression and close-quarters ferocity, often attacking with relentless force and tactical cunning. Feared across the galaxy, the Bloodmaws stand as one of the most savage and unpredictable great companies of the Space Wolves. A company drawn from the hardy kraken-hunting islanders of southern Fenris. Led by Engir Kraken Doom, these warriors carry with them the traditions of their coastal homeland. Known for their skill in hunting the giant sea creatures that dwell in Fenris's icy oceans. This maritime heritage is reflected in their combat style, emphasizing adaptability, cunning, and coordinated strikes. This company has a large number of Swiftclaw Outrider squads to pressure the enemy with a constant tide. Each Astartes within the company bears the Sea Wolves company insignia on their chapter pauldron. The insignia depicts a white wolf head emerging from the waves set against a Fenris grey background. This emblem symbolizes both their predatory instincts and their connection to the sea, marking them as a company that is both fierce and resilient. In battle, the Sea Wolves have a large number of Swiftclaw Outrider squads to pressure the enemy with a constant tide. Their experience on Fenris's treacherous shores gives them an instinctive understanding of terrain and strategy, making them adept at swift assaults. The Great Company stands as a testament to the Space Wolves' diversity of talent and heritage, bringing the spirit of Fenris's seas to the battlefield with every strike. The fourth Great Company of the Space Wolves is known as the Sons of Morkai. Led by Eric Morkai, this company is renowned for its large number of scouts and eliminators, using stealth and serving as the eyes and ears of the chapter, gathering intelligence, tracking enemies, and striking before the foe even knows they are under attack. Their emphasis on stealth and reconnaissance reflects the Fenrisian hunter traditions that permeate all Space Wolves. Each Astartes within the company bears the Sons of Morkai company insignia on their chapter pauldron. The insignia depicts the profile view of two black wolf heads facing away from one another, with a streak of red fur between them, all set against a white background. This emblem symbolizes vigilance, duality, and the ferocity of the pack, marking the Sons of Morkai as masters of both observation and deadly action. On the battlefield, the Sons of Morkai excel at stealth, ambush, reconnaissance, and surgical strikes. Their scouts move like shadows, reporting back to their Wolf Lord, while eliminators hunt enemy commanders. The Great Company embodies the Space Wolves' cunning and tactical flexibility, ensuring that wherever the chapter fights, they are always a step ahead of their enemies. The Fifth Great Company of the Space Wolves is known as the Red Moons. Led by Gunner Red Moon, this company is renowned for its heavy firepower, favoring long fangs and aggressor squads to bring devastating ranged and close support fire onto the battlefield. Their warriors are experts in holding key positions and providing deadly covering fire, ensuring that the rest of the chapter can strike with precision and speed. Each Astartes within the company bears the Red Moon's company insignia on their chapter pauldron. The insignia depicts a white wolf skull set in front of a red full moon on a black background. This emblem represents the wolf of the Red Moon, embodying ferocity, lethal precision, and the company's unwavering role as the chapter's heavy support specialists. In battle, the Red Moons excel at combining tactical patience with overwhelming firepower. Long fangs rain destruction from afar, while aggressors charge forward to break enemy lines and hold critical ground. The Red Moons exemplifies the Space Wolves' versatility, blending raw aggression with disciplined fire support, making them a decisive force wherever the chapter fights. The Sixth Great Company of the Space Wolves is known as the Death Wolves. Led by Harold Deathwolf, an imposing commander who fights at the head of massive packs of Fenrisian wolves. The Great Company is a fearsome company famed for its ferocity and close ties to Fenrisian legend. This company is notable for its close relationship with looping companions. Most notably, they often ride thunderwolves, massive wolves, into battle, and on foot are accompanied by smaller wolf packs that fight alongside these warriors, enhancing their predatory effectiveness. Their insignia is bold and symbolic, a black wolf biting a white star set against a red background. This emblem represents wolf time, the Fenrisian myth in which Morkai devours the sun and stars, shrouding Fenris in eternal night. It reflects both the Death Wolves' lethal instincts and their deep connection to the primal legends of their home world. In battle, the Death Wolves combine disciplined Grey Hunter tactics with the raw ferocity of their wolf companions. The company excels in hunting down foes, striking with precision and overwhelming enemies in both ranged and close combat. The Death Wolves embody the savage, untamed spirit of Fenris, serving as a living reminder of the Space Wolves' deadly heritage and their bond with the wild world from which they come. The Seventh Great Company of the Space Wolves is known as the Storm Wolves. Led by Bjorn Stormwolf, the Great Company is renowned for its speed, mobility, and devastating firepower. This company fields a large number of bikes and vindicators, making them experts at rapid strikes, flanking maneuvers, and overwhelming enemy positions with both ranged and armored assaults. Their insignia is painted in simple yet striking form. A black wolf shown on all fours set against a Fenris grey paint background. This emblem reflects the Thunderwolf Dreecum, said to have been bested by Leman Russ himself. In battle, the Stormwolves move like a storm sweeping across the battlefield. Bikes strike with speed, closing gaps that would halt other companies, while Vindicators bring destructive fire to soften heavily defended positions. Their ability to combine rapid assault with heavy support makes this great company a uniquely versatile and deadly force, embodying the Space Wolves' balance of ferocity, discipline, and Fenrisian cunning. The Eighth Great Company of the Space Wolves is now known as the Dusk Wolves. Previously, this company was called the Iron Wolves, until their wolf lord Vorik Gnarlfist was slain by the Thousand Suns. They were renowned for their expertise in heavily armored assaults. Now led by Torval Weirdbane, the Dusk Wolves continue the Iron Wolves' duties for the chapter, excelling at deploying and supporting tanks, including Predators, Land Raiders, and other heavy vehicles, bringing devastating firepower to the battlefield. They serve as the chapter's hammer, smashing through fortified positions and leading the charge whenever raw force is required. The company's Iron Wolves insignia reflects its lethal combination of martial skill and mechanized prowess. It is a light blue mechanized rendition of the Space Wolves chapter symbol, known as the Iron Wolf, set against a black background. The company's Dusk Wolves insignia is the Spirit Wolf, believed to be a guard of the souls of the dead. Some in the chapter consider it an ill-omened. Weirdbane dismisses the claim of any negativity toward the Spirit Wolf. The insignia is depicted as a white ghost wolf set against a black background. On the battlefield, the Dusk Wolves discipline over the machine spirit in their tanks, crush enemy fortifications, and pin down hostile forces, allowing the rest of the chapter to maneuver with precision and lethal efficiency. This great company embodies the Space Wolves' unique ability to combine savagery with mechanized might, ensuring that wherever the Sons of Rus fight, the Dusk Wolves' impact is both feared and decisive. The 9th Great Company of the Space Wolves is known as the Drageslayers. Led by fierce-eye Chrome Dragon Gaze, this company is renowned for its large number of Wolfguard veterans, second only to the champions of Fenris. These warriors are seasoned in centuries of warfare. Due to this, they have a zero tolerance for failure. The Drageslayers embody the predatory nature of Fenrisian wolves, striking with precision and deadly efficiency wherever they are deployed. The company's insignia is a black wolf head outlined by a yellow sun on a gray background. This emblem reflects the Sun Wolf, who is said to dwell within the Fenris system star, ready to attack by morning. The heraldry not only identifies the company, but also serves as a symbol of the lethal skill and tactical prowess possessed by its warriors. Operating in independent squads, the Drageslayers boast and wager amongst themselves during battles, seeking the heads of their foe, for the purpose of recognition as the greatest of the chapter. Their centuries of experience and elite training allow them to anticipate enemy movements and exploit weaknesses, making them one of the chapter's most feared and respected forces on every battlefield. The Drageslayers exemplify Fenrisian strength, loyalty, and the cunning of the Space Wolves. The 10th Great Company is known as the Blackmanes. Led by Ragnar Blackmane, they are the second largest Great Company. Their size and discipline make the Blackmanes a backbone of the Space Wolves, able to project force wherever it is needed while maintaining cohesion and tactical flexibility. They are versatile warriors, capable of fulfilling a wide range of battlefield roles, from holding strategic positions to reinforcing critical sectors and supporting assaults where the chapter requires it most. The company's insignia is the standard Space Wolves chapter badge. Their chapter pauldrons are painted with a bright golden yellow, painted in Uriel yellow. The company's insignia is the profile of a black wolf's head facing forward. This is honoring the Fenrisian god Morkai's lieutenant Blackmane. In battle, the Blackmanes combine raw ferocity with coordinated tactics, shifting seamlessly between assault, defense, and support operations. Their presence strengthens the chapter's overall strategy, ensuring that wherever the Space Wolves fight, the enemy faces both skill and overwhelming force. The Blackmanes are a constant reminder that adaptability, experience, and loyalty define the Sons of Rus. The 11th Great Company of the Space Wolves is known as the Runemarked, led by Rothvire Rune Scar. The company specializes in close combat. They are feared for their ferocious charges and brutal melee assaults. This company was previously called the Firehowlers, led by Sven Bloodhowl, until he went missing during the 13th Black Crusade. The insignia of the Firehowlers depicts a black wolf facing upward, breathing yellow fire on a red background. This symbolized a volcano on Fenris and the burning spirit of their warriors. The rune-marked insignia depicts a full-face black wolf with a yellow rune on its forehead in front of a red background. This represents the rune wolf, a sigil symbolizing foresight and fortune. Beyond combat skill, the rune-marked preserve Fenrisian martial tradition, instilling fear in foes and inspiring their fellow space wolves. Their relentless attacks are carefully timed and executed with discipline, demonstrating that even the most savage warriors of Fenris act with strategy and cunning. On the battlefield, the Rune-Marked are a living embodiment of Fenrisian fury and the indomitable spirit of the Space Wolves. The 12th Great Company is known as the Grimbloods. Led by Kjarl Grimblood, the company specialists in flamers and heavy assault, with a large number of Land Raider Redeemers supporting their operations. Their Grey Hunters have a special rite of passage first time to kill with flame. Their insignia is the Firewolf, depicted as the profile of a red wolf with a yellow fiery mane on a black background. This symbolizes the firewolf that burns hot without being consumed, representing the company's devastating firepower and resilience under the harshest conditions. The Grimbloods combine skill, discipline, and overwhelming firepower to shape the battlefield to the chapter's advantage. Their expertise with flamers and armored vehicles ensures that they can dominate heavily defended positions, providing both offense and protection to allied forces. The Great Company embodies the unstoppable burning spirit of Fenris, leaving a lasting mark on every battle and reinforcing the Space Wolves' reputation as a relentless and fearsome chapter. In the ranks of the Space Wolves chapter, the pack leader commands an individual squad such as Grey Hunters, Scouts, or specialized warriors, serving as both the tactical guide and the embodiment of Fenrisian ferocity for their packs. The pack leader is chosen from among the members of the pack. The pack leaders don't have any formal markings. Often they are marked by slightly more ornate armor than their squad members, some adorned with personal heraldry, battle honors, and additional runes that signify their leadership and experience. Traditionally, they had a gold bar on their forehead with a red diamond in the middle, but that has been abandoned. Pack leaders will display their pack symbol. If they are a Wolfguard veteran, they will have the same marking, but in black with a yellow background. Some will display a campaign symbol or squad number on their left knee plate, and displaying their squad's pack marking on the other. Beyond their markings, they carry the responsibility of guiding their pack in coordinated assaults, ambushes, and defensive operations, using both instinct and experience to make split-second decisions that can mean life or death for their brothers. On the battlefield, a pack leader inspires cohesion and ferocity, ensuring that even the smallest squad of Space Wolves strikes with the precision, strength, and loyalty that defines the Sons of Rus. In the ranks of the Space Wolves chapter, the Wolfguard are the elite veterans of the chapter. These warriors have proven themselves through decades or even centuries of combat, surviving countless battles across Fenris and the Imperium. They appear similar to standard Space Wolves. Usually their armor is more ornate, decorated with runes, personal heraldry, and intricate markings that reflect both their achievements and their loyalty. They often adorn a campaign symbol on their left knee plate to commemorate the critical battles and campaigns in which they have proven their valor. The Wolfguards serve as the backbone of the chapter's elite operations, leading charges, coordinating tactical strikes, and providing seasoned leadership to younger squads. Their centuries of experience, combined with their intimate knowledge of Fenrisian warfare and the traditions of the Space Wolves, make them formidable on any battlefield and feared by all who oppose them. In the ranks of the Space Wolves chapter, the Lone Wolf is a rare and solitary warrior, a Space Marine who has outlived all other members of their original pack and now walks the battlefield alone. They have no pack, no kin, no rank. They only seek one thing: to complete their oath of revenge. Though rare, if the Lone Wolf succeeds in their oath, they are granted status of Wolfguard. The only part that tells Lone Wolves apart from the rest of the chapter is their pack pauldrons. They are the last of their pack markings, emphasizing their independence and unique status among the Sons of Rus. On the battlefield, Lone Wolves act with both the cunning and ferocity of their Fenrisian heritage, striking where they are most needed, scouting dangerous territory, or hunting high-value targets. Though solitary, they embody the same discipline, honor, and ferocity of the chapter, proving that even a single space wolf can be as deadly as an entire squad when driven by Fenrisian resolve. In the ranks of the Space Wolves chapter, the Wolf Guard battle leader functions as the tactical commander of a Wolf Guard squad or small formation. They are similar to a lieutenant in other Space Marine chapters, yet their role is distinctively shaped by the chapter's unconventional organization and Fenrisian martial culture. Their armor is more ornate than that of a standard Space Wolves Marine, often enhanced with extra trim, campaign badges, and runic embellishments that reflect their authority and battlefield experience. Wolfguard battle leaders are responsible for planning and executing complex operations, whether infiltrating enemy positions, coordinating ambushes, or leading assaults alongside other Wolfguard squads. The presence of a Wolfguard battle leader inspires confidence and cohesion, turning a small Space Wolves force into an unstoppable coordinated strike force capable of achieving objectives that would overwhelm lesser warriors. In the ranks of the Space Wolves chapter, the Wolf Lord occupies the highest command within a great company. They function as the equivalent of a captain in other chapters, with one Wolf Lord leading each of the 12 great companies. The armor of a Wolf Lord is far more ornate than that of either a standard Marine or a Wolf Guard, featuring additional heraldry, intricate Fenrisian runes. Their chosen symbol is their great company's insignia. They are responsible for every aspect of their company's combat readiness, strategy, and discipline, mentoring younger Wolf Guard and shaping the chapter's legacy. In battle, the Wolf Lord inspires loyalty, coordination, and fearless aggression, ensuring that their great company performs with the precision, ferocity, and relentless determination that defines the Sons of Russ. Wolf Lords are both leaders and symbols, embodying the ideals of their great company. All Marines of the Space Wolves chapter carry battlefield role markings on their right pauldrons when entering combat. These markings serve not only as identification, but also as a way to communicate squad type and tactical function in the chaos of battle. If for any reason a marking cannot be placed on the pauldron, it is instead displayed on the left knee plate, ensuring that every warrior's role is immediately visible to their brothers. Grey Hunters display black markings on a red background, identifying them as the backbone of the chapter, disciplined warriors who form the primary assault forces and coordinate the front lines with relentless precision. Wolfguard display black markings or symbols on a yellow background, marking them as elite veterans and personal retinues of Wolf Lords, warriors whose centuries of experience and unyielding loyalty make them formidable leaders and protectors of Fenris. Wolf Scouts and Phobos Armor Marines display black markings on a Fenris grey background, distinguishing them as masters of stealth, reconnaissance, and rapid strike tactics, capable of infiltrating enemy lines and striking with deadly efficiency before disappearing into the shadows. Close support squads such as Blood Claws, Swift Claws, Sky Claws, and Inceptor will display yellow markings on a red background, signaling their role in reinforcing the front lines with heavy weapons, devastating firepower, and calculated support that allows the rest of the chapter to maneuver freely. Fire support squads such as Aggressors, Hellblasters, and Long Fangs will display black markings on a white background, marking them as experts in long-range engagements and area denial, providing sustained and precise fire to shape the battlefield and eliminate high-value targets from a distance. Those who bear the mark of the Wolfen display a stylized marking on their knee plate in red on a white background, signifying warriors blessed by Morkai, whose physical features have become more primal, sometimes cursed into Wolfen, and whose ferocity and savagery strike fear into all who woppos. The 13th Great Company of the Space Wolves is shrouded in secrecy, known by many names including De Tra, the Corpse Renders, Wolfenkind, and the Wolf Brothers, often referred to as the Cursed or Lost Company. They are infamous for the large number of Wolfen within their ranks, a tragic consequence of prolonged exposure to the warp and the Fenrisian curse. Their existence is largely hidden from the wider Imperium, and even within the chapter, their deeds are whispered of with both fear and shame, as their monstrous nature is a reminder of the dangers of uncontrolled mutation. They continue to fight within the warp long after being cut off from the rest of the chapter, and their appearance reflects both their isolation and the passage of countless battles. Their armor follows a unique color scheme reminiscent of the pre-heresy era, primarily gray, painted in Eshin gray, with silver accents and trim, giving them a stark and older look compared to the rest of the Space Wolves. Both pauldrons are painted primarily black with gray trim, further distinguishing them from the traditional chapter markings and emphasizing their separation from the standard Great Companies. What truly sets the 13th Great Company apart is the condition and composition of their armor. Having spent so long trapped in the warp and unable to maintain their equipment to the high standards of the Imperium, the warriors of the Great Company often replace damaged or lost pieces with scavenged armor. This includes fallen traitorous parts, creating a patchwork appearance that tells the story of centuries of endless warfare. Each suit of armor carries the scars and history of battles fought across the warp, making them look both fearsome and otherworldly on the battlefield. This unique appearance not only signals their tragic history, but also instills fear in those who face them. The company's insignia is a striking and ominous symbol. A side profile of a red wolf, jaws open, set over a white crescent moon on a black background. This emblem reflects both their predatory savagery and their tragic curse, marking them as separate from the rest of the Space Wolves. The 13th Great Company embodies the duality of the Space Wolves' legacy, legendary warriors of Fenris, yet cursed and isolated, surviving where others would fall and continuing the fight in the dark, twisted expanse of the warp. They are a haunting reminder of both the honor and the dangers of the chapter's connection to the fury of Fenris. Their presence ensures the chapter's enemies never know whether the wolf that hunts them is a brother of the chapter or a creature of its curse. The Holy Ordo approves this transmission. Please check our channel for more content on other Astartes chapters, and as always, please engage in the like and subscribe protocols for additional transmissions.